Subscribe to Automation Studio channel and press on bell icon to get new notification video. Hello guys, this is Praveen from Automation Studio, and in this tutorial we are going to see how to create one configuration file for your automation project. So we have seen in our last videos like how to create a test class and how you can create a base test class. In this video we are going to see how to manage our basic properties or basic configuration in a text file or in a configuration file or in a property file. Okay, so in this video we are going to cover like how to deal with a property file, what is property file or configuration file, and what are the mandatory field or the very basics configuration we can store in that, and how we can read it through the Java code. So let's start with that. So guys, I do have already my device ready here. So that is the iPhone X 11.2 simulator, and here is my appium desktop version. Okay, so I'm using this appium. The version is 1.3.1, so which is the latest one. The latest one is 1.3.2, but there is some problems with that. Keep in mind, whenever you are dealing with the appium desktop, you are installing in your desktop, so make sure like it's a stable version. There should be no issues with that. Okay, so kindly make sure with that, otherwise you can face some issues with that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start this appium server. So I'm going to run on 000 and 4723. Okay, fine. So in my previous video I have already told you like how to create, and I have shown you how to create a base test class. So let me delete this unnecessary code here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, up to this level you have to refer my older videos, otherwise you might get confused like from where we are starting. So I am just assuming that like this is the video of the continuation of my previous videos. Okay, so in case you are confusing in anywhere, you have to refer my previous videos. Okay, this particular appium series for iOS by using Java and TestNG. Okay. Okay, so this is my project, and I'm going to right click on that and new, and I'm going to create one file. I'm going to say it's config dot properties file. Okay, so the extension should be properties. Okay, so what is the properties file actually? So we have to understand in this way. Okay, properties file will contain the data in the form of the key and value. Okay, key, and then we need to put a equal to sign and then the value. Okay, so the key could be uh, any key you can use, any it should be a unique key. Okay, it should not be repetitive key, it should be a unique key, and its value you can append with that. Okay, so we'll see now. So for an example, okay, for an example, for the within the configuration file, I have to define like what will be the platform name. Okay, so from the configuration file I need to pass it whether the platform name is iOS or Android. Appium supports both iOS and Android. It might be happen while you are defining a framework, you have to support both of the platform, right? So how you will pass through the configuration file, like on which platform you are going to run your test case. So from configuration.properties file you can define that without changing your Java file or Java code, right? So that is much simpler. Okay, and also what you can do, you can pass your capability file also. Okay, so in the previous video we have seen like we have created here iOS txt file. Within that we have stored all the capabilities, like, right? So the same thing we have hard coded it, right? So if you remember, we have the cap apps reader and we have hard coded over here, right? So even though dynamically you can pass through the configuration file, where is the location of your capability file. Let's say let me put it like this is my key platform name equal to, I will say iOS. Okay, I will say cap apps file. Okay, so my capability file. Okay, and its path. Okay, now here I have to mention the exit path. Okay, so let me do that. Okay, let me put the exit path here. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let's suppose for a meanwhile like I do have the only these two properties. Okay, which can be configurable. Okay, what are the properties now? So properties is nothing but you can configure your project as per to your configurations. Okay, so your framework should be implemented in that way. Okay, so that you can pass some value based on that, it will start behaving, right? So in the case of appium, if you will say platform name iOS, so it should deal with the iOS devices. Okay, if you will say platform name is equal to Android, then it should behave uh, start working and behaving for the Android devices. Okay, and the capabilities you should obviously you have to change accordingly, right? Only defining these values, key and values is not enough. First of all, okay, you have to define a logic behind it. Okay, so what is that logic? You have to write a logic in the form of a Java class again. Okay, so then I'm going to create here one Java class. Okay, I will say here config reader. Okay, which will read my configuration, so it's called as a config reader. Okay, so for that I'm going to add here code of reading a property file, and whenever I will request give me the value of that key, it will give me the value. Okay, so if I will say what is platform name, so it will read this file and say iOS. If I will say okay, give me capapps underscore file underscore path, then this is the key, right? So it will search on that and it will throw me this particular value. Okay, so that logic I'm going to add here. Okay, so I'm not going to waste any further more time in that. I do have already code ready with that, so I'm going to append here. So see, so I will explain you once I will done with the import. So let me uh, add the required imports. Okay, so file stream. Okay, iOS exception, input output exception. So let me, okay, so now here it is, see the it is referring the config file now here, right? So now after that, prompt dot get property, I guess, yes, get property, and the key will be uh make sure the key name should be exact. Okay, otherwise could be a problematic for you. This is out. Okay, let it be. So now let's try. I will explain you code. Don't worry about that. So the iOS. Okay, so what we have done here, we have created an object of the properties. Okay, then we have used an input stream. Okay, so that is the input, like where is your file sitting. Okay, and with the help of this input you are loading your file. Okay, and then with the help of property object, once it will get the file and it will collect all the key and values. Okay, then you can request one by one with the key name. Okay, get property. Okay, this is my property name. Now just fetch the value. It will fetch the value accordingly. Okay, so let's see the other value also. Capapps file name, just change here, and let's try here. Perfect. So it's providing you the iOS as well as the path of your capability file, right? So now what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to just create a static method here. Okay, and what I'm going to uh, say, like, get platform name. Okay, I'm going to say here get platform name. Okay, and before that I'm going to cut this code, and I'm going to put in the static block. Okay, and okay, I'm going to do like this. Okay, okay, okay. Now I have to declare static. Okay, so what is this piece of code will do? So at a compile time, it's going to run automatically. So it's going to initiate the property file values and all. So before the execution of your program, the property object will get initialized, so no need to call explicitly with the constructor and all. Okay, once you will do that, then it's straightforward. If you will say prop dot get property, and if you will say property name, sorry, platform name, okay, it's going to provide you the value. Obviously it will be in string. Okay, so you have to return time should be string. Okay. Now just write public static void main, and how you will call it, right? So you will call it and like configurator dot get platform name. That's it. Okay, then what it will do, it will give you a string, right? So you have to print it. It holds the string value, right? So that's it on iOS. Perfect. Let me put some text over here. So from main method, okay, something like that. Oh, oops. Okay, so you can recognize like serving from this method. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, so yeah, so now we are going to use this class, okay, in our base class. See here I mentioned also the host, oh sorry, where the URL for my appium server, right? So I can mention here this also. So appium server URL. Okay, so how can I mention here, and just put the value here. Okay, now whatever the, see, one thing you have to keep in mind, whatever how many keys you are going to enter here, those many you have to put the method here in order to get the value. So see, for example, platform name. Okay, so the required two things also here, capapps file and appium server. So I am going to create, it's confusing. Okay, I'm going to create two more methods. Okay, so in a similar way, so 1 2. Okay, so capapps file path and appium server name. Okay, so URL, so get capapps file path. Okay, then I'm going to say copy it, and so it will give me the capapps path. Okay, here I'm going to see get appium server URL. Okay, and then I'm going to copy from here, and I'm going to paste over here, right? Okay, so make sure 1 2 3. Okay, all the three keys you can value you can extract from this reader. Okay, now here in this way you have to mention, let's copy here how to use in a base test, right? So here you have to say like get appium server URL. That's it. So it will give you the appium server URL. So in future, suppose your appium server is running on different machines, so you can just change in this file. That's it, and it will point to that particular URL. Okay, and what about the capapps file? Okay, so we have a capapps reader, correct, and here we are specifying this address, full path, right? So simple, just say dot get capapps file path. That's it. So okay, I have missed one more braces. Okay, that's it. So how simple it is, right? In the base test also, if you have to differentiate between between the iOS and Android, so here also you can do that. Get platform name, okay, dot ignore equals. Okay, if this is iOS, then you have to do that. Okay, you have to perform this action. Okay, if or else if dot get platform name dot equal to Android. If it is Android, then you can Android code here. Okay, let me include the code for the Android because it's a one-liner code, so don't worry about that. So yeah, Okay, instead of that you can mention here Android driver. You have to add it, that's it. Okay, but for that you have to prepare with the it's a common step, so let move it further. Yeah, here, right? So for that you need to define the capabilities for Android mobile. Okay, so just add the android.txt and add the capabilities for Android, and just change in your here, just change the path, sorry, the name. Okay, that's it, and just paste over here Android, so that will work accordingly, it should. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this test class and let's see how it will work. Okay, so see the test cases started running. Okay, installing the WebDriver agent. Okay, yes, so now I started working. Okay, perfect. So the code is started working and it should execute like before in the earlier sessions. Okay, so this is how you can create your configuration file, so it's very easy to maintain. So you have seen just now, like with the help of just config.property file, you can store your configuration in the form of key and values, and by using just a config reader file, you can locate your config property file here, and then you can access all the keys values with this in the form of a just simple get methods. Okay, getter and setter, you have heard about the concept in the Java. So I have just keep the method in the form of the getters. So just get platform value, get capability files path, get appium server URL, and just pass the keys. So it will fetch the value in the form of a string and it will returns you. It's very simple. So even though it's a static, so no need to create any variable for that, because it's a class level method. So just put the class name dot and then just call it straightforward. Okay, we have included within the static block, so at the time of compilation only the all the values will be initialized. It will read your configuration file and it will load all the key and values. Okay, so that's all for now. I hope this video will be helpful for you guys, and keep watching this series, and keep subscribe, and do share this video to your friends who are eager to learn APM automation or automation, web automation. So these are the concepts which will help you in growing your to grow your skill sets in the designing the automation framework or dealing with the automation. So these are the few questions, interview questions also, they can ask you, like how you can deal with your configuration of your project, automation project, how you are dealing your configuration within your automation project, just explain. So you can explain like in this way. So in the form of the properties key and values, we use to manage it. So they can ask again you question why it is a property file, what is the use of the property file. Then you can say that the property is nothing but the combination of a key, is in the form of a key value pair, and the key will holds the value. So by using this concept we are using the Java file where we need to pass the key and it will provide us the value for that particular associated with that key. Okay, so this is the beauty of that thing. So no need to change the Java code again and again, just change a simple property file which can be changed in a simple editor, and no need for the compile the code again. If you are changing your Java file, you have to compile your code again, right? But here the compilation is not needed, okay, at all. So it's very simple to deal with that. Okay, okay, that's all for now, guys. So if you have any comments, you can comment in the comment box. Okay, if you like this video, hit the like button. Okay, and keep subscribe. So we will meet in the next video. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye.